The fearless Prince Jinan fears nothing, except Xiao Qiqi stealing a kiss from him. And not only do you kiss him, but you also call him sister regardless of gender. However, this can't be entirely blamed on the quirky Xiao Qiqi. Who can blame her when her sister has such handsome features, thin lips, and red lips? With such an appearance, comparable to the most handsome man in the Mo kingdom, it's hard not to be drawn in. But she only knows one thing and not the other. Mo Hanqing is not only the recognized beauty of the Mo kingdom, but also the only Prince Jinan in the 4 kingdoms of the world who is chased by his little fans. Long ago, the entire continent was divided into 4 kingdoms. The people of the Yi kingdom are warlike by nature. The people of the Mo kingdom live a carefree life, and the northern Qin kingdom, located on the border, excels in its cavalry. Only the Wanfeng kingdom remains secluded from the world. At this time, in the Mo kingdom's capital city, Prince Jinan's carriage was already surrounded by a massive crowd. A group of enthusiastic fans cheered endlessly, hoping to catch a glimpse of His Highness's honorable face in their lifetime. But these ravenous people are a bit too crazy. They even bothered the 9-year-old Mo Hanqing. The young man had a worried look on his face. He hadn't slept well in a long time. Can't you guys quiet down? If anyone dares to shout one more time, I'll have Lung Wei beat you up. Faced with Prince Jinan's sudden outburst, the originally enthusiastic fans were all frightened. They all say that while the most handsome man is good, he is merciless when he starts fighting. Looking at the empty streets, Lung Wei beside him exclaimed, "Are you kidding me?" Even though His Highness is notoriously cold and ruthless, he has never laid a hand on a woman. At this moment, a mysterious figure in black stood in the corner, observing everything. I heard that the Emperor is praying for blessings at the royal temple and has entrusted everything to Prince Jinan. It seems his exclusive disturbing the peace plan can begin. The mysterious man sneaked into the royal temple at night. He took out a flute and played it as horribly as possible. Mo Hanqing, who values his appearance, even sleeps elegantly. But the next second, the sound of the flute reached his ears, infuriating him to the point of cursing. When he finally made it to dawn, he learned that his bunch of useless guards couldn't even catch the flute-playing culprit who disturbed his beautiful dreams. Lung Wei, who didn't want to be the target of his anger, pleaded his innocence that MY subordinates took turns keeping watch and didn't hear any flute playing. Hearing this, Mo Hanqing exploded. One of the top 20 Lung Wei in the Mo kingdom. Are you questioning my words? If there really wasn't that annoying flute sound, how could I have been unable to sleep all night for several nights in a row? At this moment, one of the Lung Wei, named 12, had a sudden idea. I heard there's a flying crane manor west of the Mo kingdom. The world's greatest martial artist, Mieju, lives in seclusion there. Why don't we go and ask him for help? Maybe he can figure out what's really going on. Soon, the news that the most handsome man was going to visit Yu Qingshan spread throughout the manor. Make sure you clean everything inside and out. Don't neglect our distinguished guest from afar. Suddenly, a hurried voice rang out. Xiao Qiqi, that little ancestor, is missing again. Knowing her personality, she'll probably offend our guest. Then what are we waiting for? Hurry up and search the whole mountain. Here, the 5-year-old Xiao Qiqi, as the granddaughter of the world's greatest martial artist, spent her days practicing swordsmanship, showing off, and running around the mountain causing trouble. Mo Hanqing, who traveled a great distance to seek help, didn't know how unlucky he was. First, there was the flute disturbing his sleep, and now his carriage had broken down. 12. As one of the Lung Wei had never seen His Highness suffer like this, you've been walking up the mountain for half a day. Let me carry you up. But before Mo Hanqing could speak, a little child jumped out in front of him, catching him off guard. Sister, you smell so good. I wonder if Xiao Qiqi can have a taste. In her mind, no one had ever refused her. So, the unruly little mouth kissed him as if it were the most natural thing in the world, leaving Mo Hanqing blushing in disbelief. The most handsome man in the Mo kingdom, had been defiled by a little brat. Xiao Qiqi, who had just molested a handsome young man, became a little hooligan. But she didn't understand. Why such a beautiful person called young Master Mo? Mieju's usually calm face showed a hint of worry. It's all my fault for spoiling this outspoken little rascal. I hope the magnanimous Prince Jinan can be more understanding. However, Mo Hanqing didn't want to let her off the hook. Just because she's young, she can openly steal kisses? Besides, I am a nobleman. Xiao Qiqi didn't understand why the beautiful person was staring at her intently. Could it be that she was captivated by her unique beauty? Facing the little rascal who was unaware of her own misbehavior, Imo Han-ching was furious. If you don't give me an explanation today, I definitely won't let you off easily. Mieju spoke, breaking the awkward silence. Since Prince Jinan is insistent, my granddaughter will naturally apologize. Xiao Qiqi looked wronged. Although she didn't understand much, how could she apologize to someone else? He just said I smelled nice and looked incredibly beautiful. Does he really need to be this angry? It seems you're not planning to apologize. Imo Han-ching shouted. 12. Don't be polite with him. Right here, right now, beat him up for me. Lung Wei, having received the order, knew how to appease his master. He couldn't completely obey his words. Besides, this was the granddaughter of the greatest martial artist. Wouldn't he be asking for a beating by confronting her directly? But his hesitation was met with Imo Han-ching's cold words. Are you disobeying my orders? I'm saying this one last time. Go and beat him up for me now. Seeing Lung Wei's dilemma, Mieju told him not to worry about his status. Today, in front of Prince Jinan, just go ahead and teach him a lesson. Xiao Qiqi, hearing that someone was going to attack her, thought it was wonderful. She had already beaten everyone in the manor so badly that they were afraid of her and wouldn't play with her. 12. Being a renowned figure in Emo Kingdom, didn't take the little girl's words seriously. I'll consider this a friendly sparring match. Please instruct me. Xiao Qiqi excitedly clasped her hands together. Well then, I'll have to offend you. With a flurry of hus and has, she unleashed a series of punches and kicks, leaving her opponent with no chance to retaliate. Just one left kick nearly dislocated his neck. Mieju, who was watching the fight, sighed. I knew this would happen. Now that the fight is over, Jinan's anger should be appeased. It's just a pity for your loyalty to your master. I suppose Lung Wei isn't seriously injured, right? 12. In front of his master, wouldn't dare say anything bad about him. It's all my fault for being incompetent and embarrassing your highness. Mieju, watching the two in their awkward situation, said, now, an apology is in order. Little girl, aren't you going to admit you're wrong? How could you beat someone up so badly and embarrass them? Grandpa, are you getting senile? He was the one who told Lao Wei to come and beat me up. Now that he lost, he wants to bully me? Besides, haven't you always taught me not to offend others unless they offend me first? And if they do, I should beat them until they're begging for mercy? Mieju noticed that after his granddaughter's words, Jinan's face darkened even more. Why do you have to repeat everything I say? He pinched her chubby cheeks and asked, are you disobeying, Grandpa? Although she didn't know what she did wrong, she still had to listen to her grandpa. Xiao Qiqi yelled, I'm sorry. Jinan misunderstood, thinking she was deliberately provoking him. But how could an apology be more gentle? He didn't know the answer to that. Suddenly, a thought struck Xiao Qiqi. Perhaps the best way to shut him up was to cover his thin lips with her own. Watching the brat's aggressive approach, Imo Han-ching had a bad feeling. This unreasonable child not only refused to admit her mistake, but dared to push her luck even further. Prince Jinan, at such a young age, lost his first kiss, forcibly taken by a little girl feigning innocence and begging for affection. Imo Han-ching, having suffered this silent loss, was clearly not all right. 12. Fearing his master's anger would boil over, quickly consoled him. The girl has been confined. You should calm down. But Imo Han-ching, feeling wronged, stubbornly insisted, I'm fine. 12. Who knew his strict master all too well, recognized the facade. The calmer he appeared, the angrier he actually was. That little girl is only 5 years old. Even if she stole a kiss, there's no need to be this upset, right? Besides, he can't even tell if you're male or female. The mention of age made Imo Han-ching furious. You can't even beat a little kid, and you have the nerve to say she's only 5? That was my pure and untainted first kiss, defiled by a little hooligan. 12. Though he couldn't argue with his master, could avoid him. Knowing Imo Han-ching was holding a grudge, he quickly excused himself, claiming a headache. If you have nothing else, you should go back and rest. I really need to sleep. Looking at the useless subordinate feigning sleep, Imo Han-ching seethed with anger. If it weren't for your head injury, I would punish you by not letting you sleep. As he reluctantly opened his door, a figure flashed past. Could it be that flute player hiding their true skills, chasing him all the way to Feihe Manor for a sneak attack? Imo Han-ching, mistaking Xiao Qiqi for a thief, drew his sword, but he gained no advantage. The little girl seized the opportunity and snatched his soft golden umbrella. As his legs gave way and he collapsed, a childish, resentful voice reached his ears. "That's for ordering your guard to beat me up earlier. I'm getting my revenge by sneaking in and throwing powder at you." And Mo Han-ching, lightheaded, struggled to speak, but gritted his teeth and forced out the words, "You annoying brat. Didn't Yi Ju confine you? How are you still running around in front of me, causing trouble?" Xiao Qi had an innocent look on her face. "Because Grandpa can't keep me locked up at all. I can escape whenever I want." Suddenly, a wave of dizziness washed over Mo Han-ching, making him unable to stand. Just as he was about to fall, Xiao Qi caught him. "Young Master Mo, why are you so stingy? I kissed you because I like you. But no matter how I try to appease you, you only get angrier." Mo Han-ching looked at the clueless girl, quite exasperated. "Hasn't anyone told you that men and women shouldn't touch each other casually? What are you talking about? Touching casually? I don't understand at all." Seeing her getting more and more enthusiastic, even wanting to hold his hand and get to the bottom of it, Mo Han-ching quickly pulled away, wanting nothing more than to keep his distance. Xiao Qi had never been treated like this before. At the manor, everyone adored her. Why was it that young Master Mo seemed so disgusted by her? The more she thought about it, the more aggrieved she felt, and she started to cry, "I'm only 5 years old. How can you be so mean to me? I've been without a father and mother since I was little, and I've been all alone with Grandpa. Being confined to the manor is already upsetting enough. And now, I finally get to see a big brother from outside, and he doesn't even like me. Anyway, I don't care. I want young Master Mo to say he likes me." And Mo Han-ching, experiencing his first hug with a girl, was at a loss. "Why are you crying all of a sudden? Fine, I promise not to pursue this matter anymore, okay? But do you like me? Do you even know what liking someone means? Liking someone means you're willing to play with Chi-Chi, right?" And Mo Han-ching was exasperated to the point of laughter. "As long as you don't cry, I'm willing to play with you. Then can I have kisses, hugs, and be lifted up high? Lifting you up is fine. Kisses and hugs are not. If you don't behave, I'll have Mia Ju put you in confinement." Xiao Qi finally smiled in satisfaction. "I'll tell you a secret. The effects of the soft tendon powder only last for half a stick of incense. Even if you tell Grandpa, I'm not afraid." Hearing this, Mo Han-ching, for some reason, felt the urge to hit someone. "You calculated the time, deliberately crying and making a fuss to gain my sympathy. Xiao Qi is really something else, even closer than a sworn brother." The famously cold and heartless Mo Han-ching actually knows how to be chivalrous towards women. Meanwhile, Mia Ju, who had confined his granddaughter, was heartbroken. Early in the morning, while Prince Jing'an was having breakfast, he tried to subtly plead for her release. "Did you sleep well last night, young master? Did that flute-playing assassin who disturbed your dreams come back?" And Mo Han-ching, who was pondering how to let Xiao Qi off the hook without losing face, was also troubled by this matter. "I didn't sleep very well last night, but it was manageable." He thought to himself, it would have been better without that little rascal randomly spreading soft tendon powder. However, after this incident, he didn't seem to dislike her as much as before. Hearing the lack of softened tone in Prince Jing'an's words, Mia Ju sighed for his mischievous granddaughter. "I've already sent a message to His Majesty of the Mo Kingdom. According to his wishes, you may stay at the manor for a few more days. It won't hurt to wait until the flute-playing assassin is caught. Then I'll have to trouble you, master." And Mo Han-ching, still unable to get to the point, was getting impatient. This guy was clearly here to plead for that little rascal, yet he'd spent all this time on pleasantries. He hadn't uttered a single word of plea. 12. Seeing through everything felt awkward for both of them. If the old Taoist didn't get to the point soon, his master would have finished all the rice in his bowl, using the act of eating to mask his awkwardness. Mia Ju guessed that, given Prince Jing'an's attitude yesterday, he wouldn't let this go easily. But his precious granddaughter couldn't bear that kind of hardship. "I wonder what it would take for your highness to lift Xiao Qi confinement." To his surprise, as soon as he spoke, Mo Han-ching agreed. "Lifting the confinement? Why didn't you just say so instead of beating around the bush for so long?" 12 watched his master's sudden change of face. The speed of his about-face was a bit too fast. No wonder he suddenly looked so refreshed. It must have something to do with the repeated requests for physical affection. Utterly shocked, Mia Ju, fearing Prince Jing'an might change his mind, immediately prepared to release Xiao Qi. That quirky little girl would sulk after being confined for even a short while. Her tendency to run around, and her unrestrained nature were simply part of her character. Speaking of character, Imo Hanqing had something he didn't understand. Was she telling the truth when she said she's been without parents since childhood? Indeed, young master, the child has had a difficult life. She was only a few months old when I brought her home. She even had congenital toxins in her body at the time. I almost didn't manage to save her. Imo Hanqing recalled the scene of her crying last night. It was actually true. It seemed she just wanted a playmate and didn't understand the concept of propriety between men and women. Imo Hanqing was enjoying the midday sun and gentle breeze. The time, undisturbed by the little rascal, was passing surprisingly slowly. Lung Wei, guarding him in secret, also felt like something was missing. Just as boredom set in, the sneaky Xiao Qiqi unexpectedly appeared. 12 wanted to step forward to protect his master, but was stopped by the perceptive Lung Wei. Please, have some self-awareness. Could you even beat her? Besides, she's kissed the master. Why ruin things for them? Unaware of the dangers of the world, Xiao Qiqi wanted to sneak down the mountain to play. So she took out her little green snake and coerced Imo Hanqing to go with her. Imo Hanqing, just opening his eyes, thought the little rascal was trying to murder him. Why can't she learn to behave at such a young age? Why run around with a snake? But in the innocent eyes of Xiao Qiqi, he was the only playmate who didn't lose his temper with her. Unlike Imo Hanqing, who couldn't take a joke. Startled and afraid, Imo Hanqing didn't want to be looked down upon by the little rascal. He immediately straightened up. It's just a snake. I'm not afraid. What are you trying to pull with this ridiculous stunt? Xiao Qiqi was saddened by the scolding. She just wanted to sneak down the mountain. But her grandfather said the outside world was dangerous. She wondered if Imo Hanqing would be willing to go out with her. Just as Imo Hanqing was wondering how to refuse, the annoying little green snake was thrust in front of him again. Realizing the little rascal was clearly coercing him, he reluctantly agreed. The moment Imo Hanqing agreed, Xiao Qiqi grabbed his hand and ran down the mountain. With a gasp, it was as if a new world had opened up to her. She said she had never seen so many people on the streets. The bustling scene before her eyes felt like a whole new world. It was incredibly exciting. Curiosity got the better of the little green snake, and it poked its head out of her sleeve. But the massive crowd instantly frightened it back into hiding. Watching the unsophisticated little rascal, Imo Hanqing felt exasperated. If you don't start shopping soon, it'll be dark. Unintentionally, his words unleashed her playful nature. Xiao Qiqi wanted to buy a little rabbit, and she also wanted to buy a painted mask. Quickly absorbing new things, she had no concept of overspending. She just wanted to buy. Even the delicious-looking candied hawthorns had to be bought. Looking at her little face feigning way cheap if he didn't buy them, Imo Hanqing was helpless. I really shouldn't go shopping with girls. Who can stand his constant acting cute and throwing tantrums? But just as Xiao Qiqi got her hands on the candied hawthorns, she suddenly lost interest, because there was something even more attractive waiting for her. The sound of gongs and drums and a hawker's cries filled the air. A man performing acrobatics with a child on his head was shouting and showing off. But Xiao Qiqi, her eyes darting around, didn't even notice. Imo Hanqing suddenly felt like this trip down the mountain was quite enjoyable. Considering you're without parents, I'll let you sit on my shoulders. Xiao Qiqi didn't know if Imo Hanqing was indulging her, but his willingness to give her whatever she wanted was endearing. It felt different from the affection she felt for her grandfather, but she couldn't quite put her finger on how. After a whole day of running around, the little rascal must be hungry. Imo Hanqing urged her to finish eating so they could return to the mountain villa before dark. Xiao Qiqi stared at the boy in front of her. How come someone is feeding him? I want to be fed too. Imo Hanqing, wanting to comfort her, found the words difficult to say. Just call me Big Brother, and I'll feed you like they do. Curious about Imo Hanqing's sudden kindness, Xiao Qiqi wanted to say more, but the wonton at her lips would get cold if she didn't eat it. Big Brother is the best. I like you so much. A petty thief, intending to rob them, chose the wrong target. The enraged Xiao Qiqi lashed out. The consequences of her anger were severe. Exhausted from the day, the little rascal fell fast asleep on Imo Hanqing's back. On their way back, they unexpectedly encountered a group of greasy older men who intended to rob them and take advantage of them. They were particularly interested in the sleeping Xiao Qiqi. Just by looking at the fabric of her clothes, they knew they must be worth a fortune. But their arrogance lasted less than 2 seconds. Xiao Qiqi awakened by the commotion, jumped off Mo Hanqing's back in a flash. She hadn't intended a fight, but the pompous men were too much. A flurry of blows followed, accompanied by continuous cries of pain. Even Mo Hanqing couldn't bear to watch. Don't hit their faces. They rely on their looks to make a living. The surprisingly obedient Xiao Qi, amidst the pleas of "spare me," female hero, lost herself in the moment. Considering your sincere apologies and sweet words, I've been quite lenient. But still feeling restless, Xiao Qi had an idea. I hear the mountain bandits have endless food and wine. Why don't we go there? Mo Hanqing. Experience what it's like to be the boss. Mo Hanqing scolded the brat for being too playful. Mieju, who has been waiting for you to come home, will be worried. Unwilling to give up her tried-and-true methods, Xiao Qi immediately took out the little green snake. It'll only be a short while. It won't take too much time. Mo Hanqing, whose life was now in her hands, finally understood the brat's game. If he dared to go against her wishes, he'd have to taste the bite of a venomous snake. Xiao Qi charged all the way to the mountain bandit's lair. Forget the tiger skin throne, even the regular benches were softer. It's just that the name Eagle Gang is a bit unpleasant. It might as well be changed to Peacock Gang. Surrounded by a bunch of boisterous petty thieves, Mo Hanqing appeared small and helpless. Whatever the female knight liked, how could they dare say a word against it? Listening to the incessant flattery, Xiao Qi also wanted to give Mo Hanqing a title. She just didn't know if he preferred something domineering or awesome. At this moment, a mischievous little thief came up with a bad idea. Since you like him so much, why not take him as your Yajai foreign? But Xiao Qi didn't understand what Yajai foreign meant. The title sounded so strange. In layman's terms, it's someone one rank below the boss. Not only can you get married, but you can also cuddle and sleep together. Hearing this, Xiao Qi's heart stirred. She really wanted Mo Hanqing to be her Yajai foreign, because the bed was always so big. If someone were there with her, she wouldn't keep falling off. Mo Hanqing had only gone out to set off a signal flare. How come upon his return, he saw such a strange expression on the brat's face? Before he could react, he was dragged onto the makeshift throne. With a single command from Xiao Qi, all the underlings would have to call him Yajai foreign. Sensing the intense killing intent, the underlings immediately changed their tune and greeted him as brother-in-law. It's all the fault of these blind fools for provoking you. Hearing the new term, Xiao Qi really liked the title brother-in-law. Quickly bring out your best wine and meat. I want to drink with brother-in-law until we're both drunk. Mieju, having received the signal flare, finally found his granddaughter's whereabouts. These audacious little thieves. They even dared to kidnap the granddaughter of the world's greatest martial artist. But the moment he burst through the door, he was stunned. Brat, what are you doing? How dare you drink at such a young age? Seeing Mieju's furious demeanor, Mo Hanqing had a premonition that he was about to get beaten. But he had been passive throughout this whole ordeal. Even if someone were to get beaten, it should be the brat. But Xiao Qi, experiencing alcohol for the first time, passed out before she could be punished, vomiting a rainbow as she went. In her delirium, she continued to mumble nonsense. Help me up. I still need to marry my Yajai foreign. In a fit of anger, Xiao Qi used her internal energy to shatter her clothes. Prince Jingyan, now exposed, cursed her as a hooligan. Mieju, whose face had been thoroughly disgraced by his granddaughter, was recounting the drunken spectacle. You brainless little fool. If you dare to anger Prince Jingyan again, I'm afraid no one in the entire manor will escape punishment. Xiao Qi, remembering the vomiting incident, knew she was wrong. She shouldn't have dragged Mo Hanqing into drinking with her. And you certainly shouldn't have vomited all over him. Mieju stroked his beard. That's a good lesson. You're punished to apologize to Prince Jingyan until he forgives you. Watching her spirited figure gradually depart, he couldn't quite tell if the silly girl liked that brat. How could she say such outrageous things about wanting to marry him as her Yajai foreign? Mo Hanqing, forcibly dragged to the hot springs, was bewildered. Seeing your smug face, I know you're up to no good. The accused, Xiao Qi, burst into laughter. I'm following Grandpa's orders. I specifically brought you, Mo Hanqing, to bathe in the medicinal hot springs that strengthen the body. Please forgive me for my sincere apology. Mo Hanqing had heard that the hot springs of Fei He Manor could wash away fatigue and strengthen bones. Seeing them today, he realized the rumors were true. He had intended to forgive the brat this time, considering her childishness and lack of malice. But before he could speak, "Why are you taking off your clothes?" Xiao Qi stopped just in time, was already prepared to get in that "I'm not naked. I'm wearing my undergarments. It's all because I spent time in the bandit's lair yesterday. I'm all smelly. Since you're here, Mo Hanqing, let's scrub each other's backs." Mo Hanqing, averting his eyes, yelled, "Men and women are different. You shameless brat. I'm going to tell Mieju about this. He'll spank you." Hearing that he was going to tattle to her grandpa again, Xiao Qi panicked. "I S it because you think I won't help you undress? I'll do it now." Mo Hanqing was furious. "You brat, how dare you? Just you wait until my martial arts are good enough to beat you. I'll deal with you sooner or later." Lung Wei, hearing his master's cries for help from the rooftop, was conflicted. Judging by his words, that girl had already taken off her clothes. To save their own skins, they'd better turn a blind eye and a deaf ear. Looking at the dilly-dallying and foul-mouthed Prince Jing'an, Xiao Qi was completely furious. Seeing him shatter your clothes with a single palm strike, what more is there to say? Feeling the force of the blow, Mo Hanqing was speechless and didn't want to talk. "If I could beat you, I'd definitely kick you into the water." A bewildered Xiao Qi didn't understand why Prince Jing'an looked different from other people. "You seem rather unhappy." Mo Hanqing, his vulnerability exposed, really wanted to slap her. "Before I lose my patience, I advise you to let go of my curiosity." Feeling utterly despondent, all he wanted to do was plunge into the water. "My pristine reputation has been ruined by this stinky girl." Seeing Prince Jing'an bubbling and disappearing beneath the surface, Xiao Qi quickly transformed into a warrior maiden and pulled him out. "Why are you so petty? It's just a ruined piece of clothing. I could just have Grandpa compensate you." Unable to fight back or provoke her further, Mo Hanqing felt utterly helpless. "For the remainder of my stay at the manor, I don't want to see you again. I hope the granddaughter of the world's greatest martial artist will behave herself and let the most handsome man in Mo country live." For the first time, Xiao Qi couldn't sleep, all because Prince Jing'an never wanted to see her again. So, she rummaged through her belongings, searching for her most precious possession to appease him. When she finally retrieved her family's heirloom jade pendant from the bottom of her chest, she happily drifted off to sleep. But the sudden, intrusive sound of a flute disturbed Xiao Qi's sleep. Similarly tormented, Mo Hanqing was also kept awake all night. Provoked repeatedly, he decided to take the initiative. Lung Wei, chasing after him, urged his master to slow down. They were having trouble keeping up with such impressive lightness skills. Annoyed, Xiao Qi also ran towards the flute-playing assassin. She was determined to catch the culprit and impress Prince Jing'an. Looking up abruptly, she saw a familiar figure appear before her. But by the time she tried to stop, it was already too late. Unexpectedly injured in the waist from the collision, Mo Hanqing was surprised. Shouldn't the stinky girl be sleeping soundly in her room? What's she doing here? Xiao Qi's bashful appearance even made the aloof Prince Jing'an blush. "Since we've both come here because of the flute player, it must be fate. If you can help me catch the culprit, I might just forgive you for shattering my clothes." Xiao Qi grabbed his arm. Although she wanted to help, she had sprained her ankle on the way. Mo Hanqing found the stinky girl's coquettish behavior increasingly endearing. Unable to resist, he scooped her up into his arms. "You really are a troublemaking little minx." Meanwhile, standing in the moonlight, the exposed assassin hadn't expected to be found so quickly by the most handsome man in Mo country. But so what? What can you do to me? Xiao Qi hated men who beat around the bush. So you're the flute-playing assassin who kept Prince Jing'an awake. But as a killer for hire, you can't even play a broken flute properly. How dare you show your face in the martial world? The man was a top assassin from the Yanluo temple. Humiliated by a child, he angrily prepared to unleash his ultimate move. He thought his flute could stop thousands, but Xiao Qi countered with her invincible fist, and then Mo Hanqing's divine kick knocked out his front teeth. However, the beaten assassin wasn't giving up. He had already prepared his secret poisonous gas for escape. as smoke filled the air, blinding Mo Hanqing and preventing him from finding the stinky girl. He became surprisingly anxious. Caught off guard, Xiao Qiqi's mind was addled by the poison. Trapped, she accidentally fell off the cliff. Hearing the commotion, Mo Hanqing immediately jumped after her. If anything were to happen to you, how would I explain it to Miezhu? Fortunately, Xiao Qiqi, who had fallen to the bottom of the cliff, was discovered by an old fisherman. Looking at the two injured individuals, he wasn't particularly inclined to save them. But then he saw the heirloom jade pendant hanging around her neck and was utterly shocked. Could this little girl be the one from the whispers about the Chongqing Palace on the 7th day of the 7th lunar month? Could this be the mystery of her birth? The white-haired old man, living in seclusion at the bottom of the valley, had an unclear connection to Xiao Qiqi. Before his seclusion, he was the renowned world's greatest martial artist. Awakening after being treated by her real grandfather, Mo Hanqing didn't know where he was. He felt a sense of comfort and ease in this sacred place. The white-haired old man bowed humbly. This is just a humble thatched hut in the mountains. Judging by your attire, young master, you must be from a wealthy family. How did you end up falling here with this little girl born on the 7th day of the 7th lunar month? Mo Hanqing revealed his identity. I'm afraid I have no way to repay your kindness right now. But if there's ever anything you need, please don't hesitate to ask. I just don't know when the stinky girl will wake up. We can't stay here too long, or her grandfather will worry when he can't find her. The white-haired old man explained that he had done his best, but he had only neutralized the Yanluo Temple's poison. As for the other unknown poison, please forgive this old man's helplessness. Hearing this reply, Mo Hanqing had some guesses in his heart. According to these words, it's probably related to the little brat's congenital poison. The situation must be critical. He had to do something. Seeing that it was almost dark, the unpersuadable Prince Jing'an insisted on taking Xiao Qiqi away. The white-haired old man warned that there were many ferocious beasts and venomous snakes and insects in the valley. You are still injured and haven't fully recovered. You definitely can't get out at this critical juncture. But concerning the little brat's life, Mo Hanqing couldn't relax for a moment. If true grandpa was truly helpless, the medical expert above the cliff must have a way to treat and save her. Things have come to this. This old man only asks you one question. Is this little Xiao Qiqi really that important to you? Hearing the righteous inquiry, Mo Hanqing's heart jolted. He clearly cared about the little brat's condition more than anything, but his stubborn pride wouldn't let him admit it. He had some acquaintance with the extermination of the Flying Crane Manor, and the little Xiao Qiqi in his arms was his granddaughter. Since he was involved one way or another, how could he ignore the situation? Hearing the resolute reply, an unusual expression crossed the white-haired old man's face. If it meant paying a sufficient price for Xiao Qiqi, would you spare no effort? The moment Mo Hanqing said he would have no regrets, the white-haired old man led him to the only path out of the valley. To be reborn, he had to exhaust all his inner strength and leap from the 10,000-foot abyss. But this place was higher than Mount Tai, and moreover, his injuries hadn't healed. If he rushed out of the valley now, it would undoubtedly be extremely difficult, a near-death experience. Prince Jing'an sat beneath the cliff, cultivating peerless martial arts. He only hoped to rush out of the valley before Xiao Qiqi's poison acted up, and the white-haired old man, who had shown him kindness by healing him, not only imparted all his knowledge, but also entrusted to him the little Xiao Qiqi, whose mysterious identity he worried about most. Mo Hanqing didn't know why true grandpa, whom he had only just met, was so good to him. The white-haired old man, concealing the truth, wasn't favoring him for his status as Prince Jing'an, but rather for the sake of the little girl born on the 7th day of the 7th month. Old man, I have here a miraculous medicine to suppress the poison's effects. But you need to pick it yourself while cultivating by jumping onto the cliff face. To save the little brat, Mo Hanqing had already disregarded his own safety. Even if the towering cliff was fraught with danger, he wouldn't be the least bit afraid. For the next half-month, every day as the morning sun rose, the diligently cultivating Mo Hanqing would practice until sunset. Even when his hands slipped in the rain, his determination was so strong that he never felt discouraged. When he finally, with great effort, picked the poison-suppressing herbs for the little brat, the injured Mo Hanqing felt that all his efforts were worthwhile. and his unwavering determination was precisely the trait the white-haired old man admired. Seeing that Xiao Qi had someone to care for and dote on her, his worried heart was finally at ease. Until one morning, after Xiao Qi had been unconscious for several days, Mo Hanqing vaguely heard her mischievous voice and thought he was dreaming. But when he opened his eyes and saw the clever little brat right in front of him, he was overjoyed. He had finally reached the end of his hardship, and it had all been a false alarm. The white-haired old man, seeing that the little girl was not fated to die, was very relieved. Since the poison-suppressing herbs have taken effect, you should strike while the iron is hot and leave the valley to seek medical treatment. Xiao Qi, hearing that young Master Mo had been taking care of her this whole time, said, "When I grow up, I'll definitely marry a boy like you." A bewildered Mo Hanqing pinched her chubby little cheek. "Since you have the energy to talk nonsense, it seems you're really getting better." As the two were about to leave, the white-haired old man gave a special warning. "Do not mention anything that happened here to outsiders. I've always been free and unrestrained, and I don't like being disturbed by insignificant riffraff. This prince will certainly remember true Grandpa's instructions. As for the little brat's mouth, we've already made an agreement. She absolutely will not breathe a word of this to anyone." Seeing the little girl he cared about leaving, the white-haired old man felt a pang of reluctance. "This key is no ordinary object. You must wear it carefully and never let outsiders see it. Not even your grandfather, the so-called best martial artist in the world." Xiao Qi only thought the key was pretty. Why couldn't she show it to people? But after being scared by young Master Mo, she immediately backed down and promised not to tell anyone. Having obtained the ultimate martial arts manual, Mo Hanqing climbed the cliff with ease. The white-haired old man, watching the little girl leave, was so moved that tears welled up in his eyes. To know in his lifetime that this person was still alive and well was enough for him. One moment, Miaju was heartbroken waiting for his granddaughter to return home. The next, the beaten Xiao Qi's cries were just as pathetic. But hearing the unbearable wails, Mo Hanqing, wanting nothing to do with it, turned his head away. Perhaps the pain of this beating will teach you a lesson and stop you from causing trouble in the future. But it's my backside that's getting the beating, yet it's this old man who feels the pain. If it weren't for the poison still lingering in your body, he would have beaten you to death, you little rascal who runs off whenever you please. 7 days later, under Mieju's meticulous care, Xiao Qi had fully recovered. Mu Hanqing, having no further reason to stay at Fei He Manor, decided to pack his bags and prepare to return to the capital. He wondered if that little rascal, confined to her room, had been behaving herself. Perhaps this parting would be a final one, with mountains and rivers separating them, their fates severed and no chance of meeting again. Lung Wei, his most perceptive guard, sensed his master's troubled thoughts. "If your highness is truly worried about that little girl, why not find a reason to bring her back to the capital as well?" The clearly teasing remark left Mu Hanqing embarrassed. "Out of all my guards, you're the most talkative. It's just a troublemaking little rascal. I'm not worried about her at all." But despite his bold words, his reluctance to leave was evident as the time of departure drew near. Observing his master's downcast demeanor, Lung Wei, standing beside him, indicated he had something to say. "The little girl knows you're leaving, yet she deliberately avoids seeing you. Your Highness, it's best to depart soon. Why waste time on a little troublemaker?" Mu Hanqing thought that the little rascal must be sulking because he didn't defend her when his grandfather beat her. With Miaju, a doting grandfather, by her side, he should leave with peace of mind. As the sound of galloping hooves faded into the distance, Xiao Qi, who had been avoiding him, suddenly appeared. "Young Master Mo, why didn't you wait a little longer for Qi? I finally convinced Grandpa to let me out to play." She offered him a jade pendant. "This jade pendant, which I always keep with me, is for you. I heard the outside world is full of bad people. Wearing it might protect you and bring you good luck." Looking at the little rascal, breathless from running, who had chased after him just to give him a protective jade pendant, Mu Hanqing, despite his attempts to remain indifferent, felt a pang of reluctance to leave. "I hope we meet again someday." Recalling their unforgettable experience at the bottom of the cliff, he felt an unspoken emotion stir within him. Watching Mu Hanqing's figure disappear, Xiao Qi's tears flowed uncontrollably. "Can you promise me you'll never forget Qi, no matter what?" Witnessing this heartfelt scene, Lung Wei couldn't understand why his master didn't respond. The little girl is pleading with you not to forget her. Mu Hanqing blushed, embarrassed. Although he wanted to say something, he didn't know how to respond without disappointing her. Lung Wei, a self-proclaimed expert in flirting, suggested, "Your Highness could say you won't forget her, or that you'll come back to marry her when she grows up." Hearing these cheesy lines, Mu Hanqing grew even more flustered. He would never marry that little rascal who resorts to violence at the slightest provocation. Despite his dismissive words, he secretly touched the jade pendant around his neck, cherishing it deeply. Xiao Qiqi, once a naive little princess, became a driven young girl after Mu Hanqing's departure. Because her grandfather told her that from that day forward, she must become educated and no longer be the clueless child oblivious to the difference between boys and girls. 8 years later, Xiao Qiqi, disguised as a boy, roamed the martial arts world. Whenever she recalled this incident, she wanted to confront Mu Hanqing for deceiving her. Because in her innocent memories, she always believed he was a fair-skinned, handsome young man. She wondered what the now emperor-favored Mu Hanqing had become. Meanwhile, Mu Hanqing, who had learned that the little rascal had snuck out of the manor on her birthday and disappeared without a trace, had been secretly searching for her through Lung Wei, but couldn't find any trace of her. Lung Wei, fiercely loyal to his master, wondered if this matter could be related to Mie Zhu's disappearance. Hearing that Mie Zhu was last seen in the capital, he speculated that the little girl, worried about her grandfather, might have also come to the capital, the place under his master's protection. This was precisely Mu Hanqing's greatest worry. The little rascal, having grown up secluded in the manor, was unfamiliar with the world. If she truly came to the dangerous capital in search of Mie Zhu, her naive nature could easily land her in trouble. Now, with both the crown prince and other princes having come of age, and the emperor favoring him, his young imperial uncle, the court was rife with conflict. He hoped to find the little rascal quickly to ease his only worry. At that moment, Lung Wei reminded his master that the time for the martial arts tournament was fast approaching. To avoid delaying the selection of talent, he urged him to depart immediately. At the same time, Xiao Qiqi, strolling through the streets, also heard about the tournament. She learned that the renowned 4 noble young masters of the capital would also be participating. It promised to be a lively event. Originally searching for her grandfather, Xiao Qiqi didn't want to squeeze into the crowd. But upon hearing that the winner of the competition would have the honor of receiving a reward from Prince Jinan, and being the granddaughter of the world's greatest martial artist, how could she miss such a childish boxing match? She figured if she won the competition and got a reward, maybe finding her grandfather wouldn't be so difficult. Suddenly, a commotion erupted before her eyes, accompanied by the screams of young female admirers. Unaware of what was happening, Xiao Qiqi initially thought something terrible had occurred, but she learned that a group of love-struck young women had gone crazy just to catch a glimpse of the capital's 4 noble young masters. After all, who doesn't love a feast for the eyes with handsome young men? But in her heart, no matter how handsome they were, none could compare to the exceptionally handsome young Master Amo. Seeing a girl who had been pushed down and was crying on the ground, she couldn't help but reach out a hand and ask, "Sister, are you all right?" She didn't expect her kind gesture to spark romantic interest. Does this little brother perhaps have someone he admires? Or what do you think of this young lady? Xiao Qiqi, having never encountered such a situation, was startled. Seeing that the competition was about to begin, she said, "Sister, you should hurry and go see the 4 noble young masters." Among the crowd watching the capital's 4 handsome men, Xiao Qiqi only favored young Master Amo. She really couldn't understand who had bestowed the city-shaking title of handsome upon them. A nearby, gossiping admirer, hearing her dissenting opinion, said, "You must be new to the capital. The handsome man in red leading the way is young Master Murong from the general's mansion. The one holding the folding fan, looking like a refined gentleman, is Yi Chengyan, the most handsome in the Chengshangfu. The one constantly winking and flirting is Mo Xiuzhu. He's quite formidable, being the current emperor's 3rd prince. Not everyone dares to provoke him. As for Mo Hanqing, with a face as cold as ice, although he possesses both good looks and beauty, it's rumored he doesn't like women. He's a cold and ruthless Lianghua beauty. Hearing this, Xiao Qiqi did think Prince Jinan seemed the least popular. The three handsome men walking in front were enthusiastic, but he insisted on putting on airs and looking sullen. The admirer advised her not to speak carelessly. This young master, who appears to be the most moody, is actually the most formidable among them. It's said he'll even hit women if he's displeased. Xiao Qiqi despised men who hit women. Speaking of which, she said, that young Master Mo I knew before liked to have Lung Wei chase after him and beat him up. He's always getting bad press. Mo Hanqing, who was being talked about, suddenly sneezed. He had a feeling someone was talking about him behind his back. Just then, gongs and drums sounded, and a shout announced the official start of today's martial arts champion competition. Xiao Qiqi, who hadn't yet witnessed the competitors' abilities, initially thought they might be evenly matched. But everyone she saw was mediocre and incompetent. They either stood motionless, waiting to be hit, or clutched their legs and cried for mercy. It seemed the eventual winner of this competition was already apparent. She just had to wait for her turn to beat them into submission. Then she could win Prince Jinan's so-called any reward. Murong Hongyu, watching from the sidelines, was unimpressed with this year's contestants. They're not even as exciting as the fighters from last year, he said. Yi Chungan agreed that I don't know how they chose these people. They either can't take a hit or have no backbone. The third prince called out to Mo Hanqing, "What do you think, Prince Jinan, with your discerning eye?" The man, who hadn't even glanced at him, replied, "You should address me as your imperial uncle. You're an adult now. If you continue to be so disrespectful, I will resort to violence." Yi Chungan, always on the front lines of gossip, couldn't help but tease, "Third prince, haven't you suffered enough at the hands of Prince Jinan? Why are you still so arrogant and unrepentant?" Mo Xiaozhu, fuming, retorted, "What the hell are you laughing at?" Although they usually disregarded formalities and fought amongst themselves, this little twerp didn't need to belittle him like this. But all joking aside, no one dared to trifle with Prince Jinan. Lately, he'd been unpredictable, his temper flaring up at the slightest provocation. Meanwhile, Mo Hanqing, uninterested in the competition, focused his attention on the ring. Watching her hot-temperedly yell at a bearded man, he thought she looked familiar. Could it be that brat from the mountain? Did she really come to the capital to earn travel money by fighting in disguise? Xiao Qiqi, proving to be a formidable fighter, won with a single decisive move. People were clamoring to take her away. Hearing that the brat was being sought after, Mo Hanqing's blood ran cold. The bearded man in the ring, about to attack, sneered, "Looks like my fists are bigger than your head. Why don't you go home and drink your milk? Why embarrass yourself by running around here?" Just as the bearded man was acting all arrogant and condescending, Xiao Qiqi, without a word, kicked him, sending one of his front teeth flying. The onlookers who witnessed this instant takedown were stunned into silence. They couldn't comprehend how this seemingly gentle and refined young gentleman could be so ferocious in a fight. The only person who remained calm and unsurprised was Mo Hanqing. Watching the familiar move coupled with the same haughty stance, he realized that in the entire Mo kingdom, probably only the granddaughter of the world's greatest martial artist could pull that off. At this moment, Mo Hanqing, the aloof and handsome man rumored to be uninterested in women, felt a flicker of delight. He hadn't expected the little brat he'd been searching for to deliver herself right to his doorstep. This sparring competition, originally intended for talent scouting, resulted in the victor being eagerly sought after by the various noblemen, each wanting to recruit them for their own service. Faced with this sudden enthusiasm, the unprepared Xiao Qiqi was at a loss. Even the customary greetings and formalities escaped her as she nervously fumbled, unsure which role to play first. But Mo Xiaozhu, who valued strength above all else, didn't care about such trivialities. "No matter how noble my status as the third prince," he thought, "as long as you're willing to serve me, any minor issue can be easily resolved." Listening to the third prince's rambling, Murong Hongyu advised the young man to choose wisely that "I am the son of the general's manor, dedicated to serving the country." He declared, "If you're willing to join the army, I guarantee a life of valor and glory." As soon as these impressive words left his mouth, Yi Chungan, who valued character above all, chimed in, as the saying goes, "A good man starts a family before building a career," he proposed. "This charming young wife is absolutely stunning. Why not marry my younger sister, who resides in the chancellor's manor and rarely leaves? She possesses a beauty that rivals Jiaochan." Hearing this, Mo Hanqing, who had been anxiously waiting for a chance to speak, couldn't hold back any longer. "No one dares to take what I have my eye on," he declared. "Now that I've taken a liking to this person, you're certainly not allowed to snatch them away. Although this young man has some skills," he continued, "his short stature is rather unbecoming. For now, he's only fit to return to my manor with me and serve as a handyman." Xiao Qiqi couldn't understand why Prince Jinan, whom she had never met, was deliberately making things difficult for her. "But I'm still young," she thought. "I'll grow taller eventually. Unlike a certain old man who looks so aged despite not being that old," she muttered. And Mo Hanqing, quick to anger, didn't expect the brat he hadn't seen in years to still have such an irritating temper. "Not only are you short," he retorted, "but you also look like a sissy." Xiao Qiqi, rarely angered, was starting to lose her patience. The last time she was this angry was when young Master Mo had bullied her. She hadn't expected to encounter an even more irritating man so soon after coming down from the mountain. The three noblemen, witnessing their imperial uncle openly protecting his ward, exclaimed that this young man was truly courageous for standing up to him. Knowing full well that the man before him was notoriously short-tempered, this fellow dared to openly challenge his limits. But Xiao Qiqi's defiance lasted only 3 seconds before Mo Hanqing, invoking his title as martial champion, ordered his guards to carry her back to his manor. "I wonder what the other young lords think of the outcome of this competition." And Mo Hanqing addressed the crowd. "If there are no objections, I'll be returning to my manor to deal with this impudent shorty." The third prince, whose status was most unique, simply replied, "Whatever makes Imperial Uncle happy. Who here would dare to challenge you and invite trouble?" The shameless and dishonorable Prince Jinan, under the pretense of being provoked, insisted on keeping Xiao Qiqi at his manor. And Mo Hanqing, intent on teaching the brat a lesson, put on airs as soon as he arrived at his doorstep. Despite being the one to provoke her, now that they were on his territory, he hypocritically accused her. "Your martial arts seem so impressive," he questioned. "Why didn't you run when my guards apprehended you?" Xiao Qiqi thought to herself, "Only a fool would leave. I finally won the competition. Shouldn't Prince Jinan fulfill his promise?" "So, what do you want me to do for you?" he asked. "Speak freely. I hear that Lung Wei, one of your guards, is a renowned talent in the Mo kingdom. I wonder if he could help me find a long-lost friend." Mo Hanqing had anticipated this request. However, he was in a bad mood and didn't want to help. "Who told you to embarrass me by defying me in public?" he thought. Xiao Qiqi knew she had been tricked, but she still hoped Prince Jinan would be magnanimous. The person she was looking for was truly important to her. "Unless you stay in my manor and behave yourself," he countered, "not only will you get no help, but you'll also be punished for your earlier defiance." Xiao Qiqi was then led to the dining area. Seeing a table laden with delicious food, she thought the man had some decency after all, ensuring she was well fed before putting her to work. As the chopsticks were presented to her, she briefly felt a pang of appreciation for the seemingly cold and aloof Prince Jinan. Before she could even sit down, however, she was lifted up by the 6-foot-tall man. Unable to reach the food she had been eyeing, Xiao Qiqi exclaimed in frustration, "What's wrong with you? I haven't even started eating yet." And Mo Hanqing thought to himself, "Shouldn't I be the angry one here? Finally, a chance for revenge. I can finally avenge the humiliation of having my clothes shredded when I was little. How can he let this brat off so easily? I let you stay in the manor, treating you like a guest, and you dare to eat before your master? When has a servant ever eaten before their master has even begun? And another thing, the rules of the Jing'an Manor clearly state that servants are never allowed to eat with their master. So, no matter how good your martial arts skills are, you're only fit to serve me food." Xiao Qiqi really wanted to punch him, but for the sake of finding her grandfather soon, she endured. "This fragrant chicken leg looks delicious. Prince Jing'an, please have a taste. If it doesn't suit your palate, you can bestow it upon me." Mo Hanqing was almost amused by the little glutton. The more he saw the brat staring longingly at the food she couldn't have, the more he wanted to tease her. "I must say, the kitchen staff skills have truly improved recently. Not only the presentation, but also the ingredients are perfectly balanced." Xiao Qiqi could barely contain herself any longer. Just listening to him describe it made her mouth water. Instead of torturing yourself by watching, why not just turn your head away? And Mo Hanqing, having taken his joke a bit too far, felt a pang of sympathy seeing the pathetic look on the brat's face. He guessed she must have suffered quite a bit after leaving the mountain, to be so desperate for a chicken leg that she'd throw away her pride. He figured if he teased her any longer, the entire table of food prepared for him would get cold. So, he said, "My tastes lean towards lighter flavors, and I don't feel much like eating these dishes today. Seeing as you're so eager, I'll be generous and give them to you." Xiao Qiqi couldn't believe her luck. Since Prince Jing'an was being so merciful, she wouldn't stand on ceremony. Watching the brat gobble down the food, Mo Hanqing observed that after all these years, her taste hadn't changed a bit. But his amusement was short-lived as he couldn't help but think, this girl is such a cute little beauty, but why does she eat like such a slob? After attending to Prince Jing'an, Xiao Qiqi wanted to ask for his help in finding someone. Besides her grandfather, the person she missed most was the elusive young Master Mo. But the aloof and taciturn Mo Hanqing, in a fit of jealousy, even became envious of himself. He wondered what the brat had been up to all these years, behind his back, to be mentioning a young Master Mo in the capital whom she apparently held dear. Could it be that besides him, there was another man, surnamed Mo, who was infatuated with her? Xiao Qiqi, fearing Prince Jing'an might misunderstand, emphasized that faithless scoundrel should be around 17 or 18 years old. Hearing the mention of age, Mo Hanqing froze. Based on the timeline, the person this brat was talking about couldn't possibly be him, could it? But before he could get too excited, a torrent of angry words erupted. Xiao Qiqi raged. Young Master Mo is a complete jerk. He wouldn't even tell me his real name. It's made finding him so difficult. Unexpectedly scolded, Mo Hanqing was both shocked and delighted. The person she was looking for was sitting right in front of her, yet she couldn't recognize him and even blamed him for hiding his identity. Oh well, with all the strife in the capital, perhaps not revealing their connection would be to her benefit. After careful consideration, Mo Hanqing agreed to help the brat find the mysteriously missing jerk. But he had one condition she must obey. Would you be willing to stay in the manor and be my personal guard? You'll have food, clothing, and a monthly allowance. Xiao Qiqi felt uncomfortable with the man's closeness. She was currently disguised as a man. Could the rumors about Prince Jing'an's preference for men be true? As he drew near, a familiar scent emanated from him, but she couldn't quite place it. Noticing the brat's unusual expression, Mo Hanqing quickly stepped back. Since you haven't refused, I'll take that as a yes. You could be my personal guard for now. Once you find your grandfather, I'll release you from your duties as promised. Xiao Qiqi still felt uneasy about Prince Jing'an's words. What if she couldn't find the person she was looking for and was forced to stay in the manor? What would happen to her poor, lonely grandfather then? Mo Hanqing hadn't expected the brat to have such willpower. Did you enjoy the chicken legs? If you agree to stay, you can have them every day. The fickle Xiao Qiqi immediately bowed. Greetings, master. Her enthusiastic performance made it seem as if she was terrified of losing the chicken legs. Seeing the little simpleton go to such lengths for food, Mo Hanqing felt a strange pang of anxiety. What if someone else tempted her with delicious food? Would she run off with them in excitement? The pristine Prince Jing'an once again had his clothes shredded by an enraged Xiao Qiqi. On the day the brat moved into the manor, Mo Hanqing acted like an overly eager neighbor. Look, I prepared this room just for you. I'm right next door, so just yell if you need anything. Isn't that convenient? Looking at the excessively pink Qingyun pavilion, Xiao Qiqi thought the decorations were incredibly tacky. If it weren't for the presence of the prince, she would have loved to tear the place down. Mo Hanqing, clueless about the girl's distaste, assumed she was utterly delighted. Since you're so moved by my kindness, you should at least help me bathe as a token of gratitude. Xiao Qiqi felt like Prince Jing'an was deliberately messing with her, constantly finding ways to get closer. Whose guard has to scrub their master's back? Isn't that a servant girl's job? Mo Hanqing declared seriously, I'm a pure and unmarried man. I can't just let anyone see me naked, except for my future wife, of course. He figured he'd hinted strongly enough that the girl would surely beg to be let off the hook. However, Xiao Qiqi didn't want to reveal her true gender so soon. She assumed Prince Jing'an must have his reasons for acting this way. Besides, scrubbing his back wouldn't kill her. She could even take the opportunity to get some revenge. Meanwhile, Mo Hanqing, smugly misinterpreting her silence, fantasized about her crying and begging for mercy. Suddenly, he felt fumbling hands wandering over his body. Perhaps due to inexperience, the girl's hands trembled as she struggled to unbutton his clothes. The awkward contact made Mo Hanqing flush. He averted his gaze, flustered, and his heart pounded. But as a proud and aloof handsome man, he refused to believe his heart had been so easily stolen. His mixed feelings of embarrassment and annoyance turned to anger. "What are you dawdling about? Can't you even undo a simple button?" he snapped. Xiao Qiqi was visibly flustered. This grumpy man was so demanding. Unaware of her inner turmoil, Mo Hanqing, struggling to contain his emotions, retorted, "Is fighting all you're good for?" This careless insult completely enraged the short-tempered Xiao Qiqi. "Can't you just take a bath without being a jerk? If you keep complaining, I swear I'll rip your clothes to shreds." Suddenly, a ripping sound startled them both. Xiao Qiqi had only meant to threaten him, but the prince's clothes proved surprisingly fragile. Mo Hanqing scowled, unsure whether to be relieved or furious. "It's a good thing I've trained diligently all these years. With your reckless strength, I'd be left without even shreds of my pants." Seeing the almost enraged Prince Jingyan, Xiao Qiqi knew she'd messed up again. She remembered being confined for days by her grandfather after tearing young Master Mo's clothes as a child. "Please calm down," she said to her both men. "Even if I saw something, it was just a glance." Mo Hanqing nearly swore. "Calm down. Don't you dare take another step into this bathroom without my permission, or you'll face the consequences." Thrown out of the room, Xiao Qiqi thought he was overreacting. She couldn't understand his volatile mood swings. Xiao Qiqi, skilled in martial arts and possessing remarkable beauty, was reduced to a mere servant at the beck and call of young Master Mo. Little did they know, their tumultuous relationship was just beginning. Mo Hanqing, intending to tease the girl during his bath, had his clothes ripped apart by the rebellious and short-tempered Xiao Qiqi. Now, they had a score to settle. Ejected from the room, Xiao Qiqi worried about the cost. How much did the prince pay her monthly? Why did she have to pay for every little disagreement? Meanwhile, behind the screen, the repeatedly humiliated yet outmatched Mo Hanqing fumed. That robe was custom-made, one of a kind. The rare fabric alone was incredibly expensive. At your measly 5 taels of silver a month as a guard, you'd have to work for decades to pay it off. Hearing the astronomical figure, the shocked Xiao Qiqi nearly fainted. If she'd known the robe would cost her half her life to replace, she wouldn't have lost control and ripped it. Mo Hanqing, delighted to finally have the upper hand, perked up at her apparent submission. "If you're smart, fetch me a new robe. I might even give you a tip if I'm in a good mood." Newly arrived from the mountains, Xiao Qiqi was unfamiliar with such manipulations. She'd been tricked into the prince's service and now had a massive debt. Still, she knew ripping someone's clothes was wrong. She'd pay, especially since she needed Prince Jingyan's help to find her grandfather. After bathing and changing, Mo Hanqing, thoroughly enjoying Xiao Qiqi's forced service, was in high spirits. Seeing her distress over the cost amused him. Xiao Qiqi studied his satisfied expression. "Since you enjoyed yourself, how about considering the silver for the robe? Otherwise, I'd be stingy and give it to a scoundrel, making them feel bad about even eating a chicken leg." Hearing Mo Hanqing, who always talks about paying in advance, Xiao Qiqi intentionally avoided his gaze. "This room is so stuffy it's making me anxious. Why don't you find a fan and fan me while I sleep?" Xiao Qiqi, seeing the silver slipping away, didn't want to give it up. Immediately, she angrily called for Xiao Shanfeng. Fanning is a maid's job. He's a personal bodyguard. These trivial matters aren't his responsibility. But hearing that he'd get 1 tael of silver per fan, it was more profitable than being a bodyguard. Isn't it just fanning his highness? A real man doesn't haggle over small profits. Watching the brat hop away, Mo Hanqing slowly said, "I don't know how she grows. Her little face has blossomed, quite delightful. It's just that she seems to be missing something in her head. Adorably silly." But he waited so long the flowers wilted. He almost fell asleep without realizing it. That brat, could she have snuck back to her room to sleep? Not long after, Xiao Qiqi, covered in dust, finally returned from the kitchen with a usable fan. "His Highness's manor is really quite large, you know. I went around several times before I found one." Unexpectedly, with 1 fan, Mo Hanqing's dates were wasted. "With that kind of service, you still want to raise?" "No way." As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Qiqi, feeling wronged, instantly broke down. She threw herself at him. "I don't care. I want a raise. And Mo Hanqing, unexpectedly pinned down, knew the brat was about to bite him, but he had a look of enjoyment on his face. How strange. He remembered the last time someone was this forward with him was 8 years ago when they first met. He hadn't realized so much time had passed. The familiar feeling of their closeness hadn't changed at all. The frantic Xiao Qi jumped on him, threatening Prince Jingyan, "If you don't give me a tip, I'll get angry and hit anyone." And Mo Hanqing thought, if 5 taels of silver becomes 100, wouldn't that brat pay off her debt in just a few months? But when their eyes met, looking at her pitiful expression, although he wanted to find a reason to keep her in the manor, how could he bear to refuse and hurt the brat's feelings? The blushing man thought it over and decided to give her 10 taels. The other guards only got 3. Compared to them, don't take this for granted. Finally feeling some comfort, Xiao Qi readily agreed. But before leaving, there was something she really wanted to say. Aggressive men aren't good, especially hot-tempered ones like you. Be careful you don't end up unable to find a wife. Once again, Mo Hanqing, feeling provoked, trembled uncontrollably. He didn't believe that the handsome, #1 most beautiful man couldn't conquer a little brat. Angry as he was, he took out the jade pendant he always kept with him, cherishing it dearly. He hadn't worn it while bathing earlier. Otherwise, not only would his identity have been exposed, but his only keepsake would have been shattered. But after thinking it over, he felt that continuing like this would put him at a disadvantage. He had to take the initiative and find the brat's weakness to gain the upper hand. So, after resting and recharging, Mo Hanqing ran to the neighboring Qingyan pavilion, looking extremely arrogant. He even kicked the door open. But to his surprise, despite the commotion, the brat was still sound asleep, undisturbed. Mo Hanqing, his anger flaring, was forced to wake her up. "You lazy pig. Get up. Who's the real master of this manor?" Xiao Qi, in the throes of a bad case of bedhead, resigned on the spot. "This lousy guard job. Whoever wants it can have it. I'm going back to sleep." And Mo Hanqing, rendered speechless, wouldn't indulge her. He took out a brush and drew a big cat face on her drool-covered, chubby cheeks. Sensing the unusual mischief, Xiao Qi woke up with a start. Looking in the mirror, she realized the ridiculously ugly clown was herself. "Your Highness, why are you so strange?" Forcing a highly skilled martial artist of a guard to do a maid's work. "I'm so tired I can barely keep my eyes open." Mo Hanqing looked at the clueless brat with a doting expression. "If only I could have you with me every day." But the doting scene didn't last long before the 2 hot-tempered rivals started bickering again. But I'm saying this one more time. Collars have a left and a right side. If you keep being silly and can't figure it out, this month's wages will be docked. Xiao Qi, feeling exasperated, was annoyed, "But I hadn't even started dressing you yet. Are you going to control me, even if I put my own clothes on backward?" Xiao Qi, lacking in height, used a little trick to leave Prince Jingyan completely captivated. This dressing drama exposed Mo Hanqing's attentiveness to Xiao Qi's every move. He even found excuses to correct her when she layered her 3 collars incorrectly. Just as he was about to thoroughly scold the little rascal, Minister Gu rushed into the residence, interrupting his momentum. He pleaded repeatedly for His Highness to save his life. Seeing that Gu wouldn't come unless he had a serious problem, and with his subordinate so agitated, Mo Hanqing suspected something had gone wrong at the Ministry of Justice, which Gu oversaw. Minister Gu's expression was one of barely concealed panic. He wouldn't dare show his face in front of Prince Jingyan unless he was truly desperate. It turned out a decomposing female corpse had been discovered in a remote area outside the city. Worse, 6 people had died in a similar manner, with no leads, and the emperor had specifically ordered a thorough investigation. If he couldn't provide a reasonable explanation within half a month, Minister Gu feared he would not only lose his official post, but also his life. Xiao Qi, listening nearby, had never seen Prince Jingyan look so grim. He hadn't even seemed this scary when he was about to punish her earlier. Mo Hanqing, who had finally managed to get some time with the little rascal, was naturally displeased. Even with the Dali Temple's involvement, they still couldn't catch the culprit of these serial killings. Though reluctant, he knew duty came first. Since several months have passed since the incidents, you incompetent fools should at least be able to find the names of the deceased, shouldn't you? Minister Gu, facing the prince's imposing presence, was drenched in cold sweat. Your Highness, this humble official is incompetent. The missing person notices have been posted at the city gates for a long time, but but no one has come forward to claim the bodies. Hearing about the multiple unidentified female corpses and their gruesome state, Xiao Qiqi was so frightened she hid trembling by the door. She hoped the short-tempered Prince Jing'an wouldn't take her along when he went to investigate. But the words she least wanted to hear came next. Mo Hanqing knew the little rascal was scared. But how could the renowned dojo-challenging expert be afraid of something like this? Faced with the pressure, Xiao Qiqi really didn't want to go. She wondered if the wise and mighty Prince Jing'an could kindly make an exception for her. No, as my personal bodyguard, you must follow me everywhere. Do you only want to enjoy the good times with me, but not share the hardships? Xiao Qiqi, initially resistant, bristled at the implication that she was cowardly. In a flash of defiance, she decided to prove herself to the arrogant man. I'm very capable, you know. Meanwhile, the officials from Dali Temple had been waiting outside for some time. The weather is hot, and the mosquitoes are numerous these days. Please be sure to wear a veil when examining the bodies. Otherwise, the stench might be unbearable. Mo Hanqing nodded in understanding, then turned to the little rascal and winked that you're my personal bodyguard now. A small task like putting on a veil is naturally your responsibility. Xiao Qiqi caught his meaning immediately. But could you lower your head a bit? I'm too short to reach. Mo Hanqing, never one to miss a chance to tease her, retorted. So now you're using your height as an excuse? Don't you know that I, as a prince, am too dignified to lower my head? Xiao Qiqi grumbled, feeling wronged. How am I supposed to know why I stopped growing after I turned 10? Your Highness, must you always poke fun at my sore spot? Though inwardly touched, Mo Hanqing maintained his facade. How about you stand on your tiptoes and give it a try? I'll reward you with 10 taels of silver. The mention of silver instantly energized Xiao Qiqi that it's just putting on a veil. I can reach if I jump. The officials from Dali Temple were stunned by this scene. Surely the aloof and unapproachable Prince Jing'an would be furious. However, Mo Hanqing, caught in an unexpected embrace, was rather enjoying it. Blushing slightly, he thought, this warm, close feeling, it's a first for me. Xiao Qiqi, who had humbled herself for the 10 taels of silver, was met with a scolding from the now flustered Prince Jing'an. Shameless. There are boundaries between men and women, not to mention between master and servant. Despite his inner delight, Mo Hanqing maintained decorum in front of others. Xiao Qiqi, scolded for no apparent reason, felt exasperated. Why couldn't she please Prince Jing'an no matter what she did? But Mo Hanqing, who treasured her, simply wanted to appear strong in front of the person he cared about most. What was wrong with a handsome man acting a little tough? Realizing they couldn't delay any longer, the Dali Temple officials risked another reprimand. Your Highness, we should attend to the matter at hand. Leaving the bodies in this heat will only worsen the stench. Relenting, Mo Hanqing asked, after the 5 Wuzhuo examined the bodies, did they find anything suspicious? Your Highness, the examination revealed nothing unusual. The details are recorded in this book. As the white cloth was pulled back, a pungent odor filled the air. Mo Hanqing felt that the wounds on the corpse were strangely unusual. Although the multiple scratches suggest a struggle, the claim of bullying leading to death seems far-fetched. Xiao Qiqi now understands why her grandfather always said the world is a dangerous place. To put it mildly, based on Prince Jing'an's wording, it's bullying. To put it bluntly, isn't it just a group of people defiling a delicate young girl? Noticing Xiao Qiqi's emotional shift, Mo Hanqing told her to turn her head away. Don't look, you're a child, you don't understand these things. Don't speculate about adult matters. But Xiao Qiqi, who could knock down countless strong men with a single punch, considered herself a capable young master. She couldn't understand why the prince, whose kung fu was inferior to hers, seemed to look down on her. Not wanting Xiao Qiqi to see the ugly side of humanity, Mo Hanqing took great pains that, in short, besides protecting my safety, you're not allowed to push into crowds, and you're absolutely not allowed to peek at the bodies. If you disobey, there will be no tip for you today. For the sake of her tip, Xiao Qiqi reluctantly backed away. But even though she kept her distance, it couldn't stop her curiosity and desire to eavesdrop. The Minister of Justice recalled these deaths, noting they all seemed to have something in common. The bodies were all discarded in the mass graves, naked, without any clothing or belongings that could identify them. It seems highly likely the killer is the same person. It's just that the capital is a bustling place. It's strange that several unidentified people have appeared out of nowhere. No wonder this matter reached His Majesty's ears. In his fury, he demanded a swift resolution to this case. Mo Han-shing believed that anyone registered officially couldn't be completely without a trace. Since posting notices hasn't led to anyone claiming the bodies, it's better to focus our efforts on the 5 corpses. Xiao Qi-Qi, listening intently, seemed to sense something unusual. But before she could get a closer look, Prince Jingyan, who was constantly guarding against her, caught her in the act. Mo Han-shing, amused by Xiao Qi-Qi's silly expression, couldn't help but pat her head. He said indulgently, "You're just a child. You don't understand these things. Stay cool over there and don't crowd around." The aloof Prince Jingyan's teasing made Xiao Qi-Qi act spoiled. Originally, Mo Han-shing just thought she was cute and patted her head, but his subconscious reaction made him blush. Xiao Qi-Qi, however, was annoyed by the prince's presumptuous behavior, her height being a sore point. "I was hoping to grow taller and be proud of it. Now, after being patted like this, what if I stop growing?" Minister Gu, watching their bickering, was envious. "Your Highness," he interrupted, "your subordinate has re-examined the bodies inside and out, and hasn't found anything unusual." And Mo Han-shing, his face grim, knew in his heart that he had met his match this time. Otherwise, there's no reason why they couldn't find a single clue. Xiao Qi-Qi, with her keen sense of smell, thought the bodies seemed to have a peculiar fragrance. Although the scent was faint, she was sure she had smelled it somewhere before. Minister Gu was surprised by Xiao Qi-Qi's words. He urged his men to remove the face coverings from the bodies, thinking there might be an unexpected discovery. However, the forced task led to complaints from his subordinates. "We've practically vomited our guts out and still haven't smelled this so-called fragrance." The subordinates grumbling annoyed Mo Han-shing. "They're my personal guards, and I haven't even scolded them. Who gave you the nerve? How dare you gossip in front of me?" Xiao Qi-Qi, feeling protected, was flattered. "Your Highness, there's no need to rebuke them. Perhaps the scent is too subtle for them to detect." Calming down, Mo Han-shing finally asked, "What kind of fragrance is it? Is it easily recognizable?" "I can't say for sure," Xiao Qi-Qi replied. "It's somewhat similar to a scent I smelled on the maids before I left the mountain." Hearing this, Mo Han-shing, who trusted Xiao Qi-Qi unconditionally, pulled her arm and headed for the door. Rather than being indecisive, "Let's go to the largest cosmetics shop in the capital." Minister Gu, always obedient to Prince Jingyan, wanted to tag along and flatter him. "Old Qin has complete faith in your Highness's personal guard." Mo Han-shing didn't object. "Minister Gu, how much do you know about Huarong Pavilion?" "Your Highness, that's a renowned cosmetics shop. Although Old Qin doesn't know much about it, my wife and daughter frequent the place. They say it's good quality, effective, and affordable." Meanwhile, Xiao Qi-Qi, hungry, had become listless since getting into the carriage. Noticing that Xiao Qi-Qi hadn't eaten breakfast, Mo Han-shing felt distressed. But to save face, he used the excuse, "I'm hungry," and headed straight for a bun shop. Minister Gu, who had been following close behind, had already figured things out. If he didn't have this level of perceptiveness, he wouldn't have reached his current position. So he generously offered, "Your Highness, please eat whatever you like. Old Qin will pay. Please do me the honor." Mo Han-shing, accustomed to dealing with cunning and tactful officials, thought this was a good idea. In the blink of an eye, someone paid. He ordered everything the brat loved to eat. Xiao Qi-Qi, who hadn't said a word the entire time, thought his Highness had the same taste as him. Everything in his hands were his favorite foods. But that plump one in the distance looked incredibly delicious. He seemed to have never eaten it before. Seeing the gluttonous ancestor wanted more, Minister Gu looked distressed, hinting that Old Chun was running low on silver. Xiao Qi-Qi, understanding with a single glance, sighed. In that case, he didn't want anything else. His Highness should hurry to Huarong Pavilion. Seeking the truth, Prince Jingyan, upon arriving at Huarong Pavilion, found himself surrounded by a crowd of admiring onlookers. But they weren't surprised by his presence. Rather, they were curious about who he was buying cosmetics for. The bustling street was lively and crowded. Mo Han-shing, focused on solving the case, noticed Xiao Qi-Qi was hungry. Disregarding Minister Gu, he turned back and entered the bun shop. Xiao Qi-Qi's mouth watered, but seeing that his Highness hadn't moved his chopsticks, he didn't dare to start eating, afraid of displeasing his master and having his wages docked again. Mo Han-shing, putting on an act, picked up a bun to take a small bite, but the staring eyes of the little glutton made him uncomfortable. He really couldn't understand why the brat liked such sickeningly sweet things. Forget it, I don't like it. You can have it all. Xiao Qiqi felt incredibly happy at that moment, getting exactly what he wanted. Not forgetting to flatter him, he said, "It's truly my honor to share your highness's burden." Watching the brat gobbling down the food, although it wasn't Imo Hanqing's first time seeing it, he was still a bit taken aback that you're smacking your lips and making a mess. Can't you be more mindful of your image in front of others? Xiao Qiqi, scolded even while eating, pouted angrily. Does the woman-repelling Prince Jing'an really have such high standards? I'll eat however I want. You're so nosy. Facing the awkward situation, Minister Gu politely forced a smile, silently imagining a secret love affair between Prince Jing'an and his young guard. This isn't leading by example. It's clearly flirting. Realizing the atmosphere was off, Imo Hanqing awkwardly changed the subject. I don't know what I was thinking, hiring a useless brat who only knows martial arts as a guard. I didn't expect even eating buns together would make you laugh, old Chun. Minister Gu thought Prince Jing'an was hinting at him to keep his mouth shut. What are you talking about? Old Chun didn't see anything. I just know these buns are really delicious. Arriving at Huarong Pavilion, the courtesans, having heard Prince Jing'an was coming, were already waiting. They shamelessly expressed their admiration that he's so handsome. I like him so much. Xiao Qiqi lost himself amidst the squeals of the admirers. With such a stimulating scene, why does His Highness, who doesn't like women, look so unhappy? They're all stunning beauties, yet you seem completely indifferent. Imo Hanqing, teased by the brat, wanted to rip his mouth apart. How dare you gossip about me? This humble servant, who has witnessed everything from upstairs, greets you. Prince Jing'an is truly refined and otherworldly, uninterested in women, yet so concerned about a guard. This woman, with her captivating beauty, possesses a charm that could topple empires. May I ask what brings Prince Jing'an to my humble establishment? Your gaze makes my heart race. Imo Hanqing, provoked upon entering, his eyes flashed with coldness that I'm here on official business. I advise you to be sensible and stop your sweet talk. But the woman, undeterred by his rejection, continued her flirtatious advances. Sister, you're so beautiful. I don't understand Prince Jing'an's taste. He doesn't even appreciate such a captivating beauty like you. Imo Hanqing hadn't taken the deliberate flirting to heart, but catching a glimpse of the brat hiding in the corner, peeking, he wondered, is he jealous? So, to tease him, his expression softened, and even his tone became gentler. Manager Hua, have you ever encountered a particular fragrance? Providing any useful clues would be a great service. Understanding his purpose, Hua Xiangrong, knowing she couldn't afford to offend the temperamental Prince Jing'an, replied, although my knowledge of fragrances is extensive, with countless varieties, I'm unsure which specific scent your highness is referring to. At this moment, Xiao Qiqi, unable to contain her excitement, shouted, I knew you were beautiful, sister. Could you take this young master to the roux shop? Watching the sweet-talking, clever little sprite, Hua Xiangrong surprisingly took a liking to her, since this young master is so kind. I'd be happy to take you upstairs and broaden your horizons. However, Imo Hanqing, who had been watching the girl's every move from behind, was nearly fuming. She's clearly a woman herself, so why is she so eager to help another woman upstairs? Could it be that she genuinely doesn't see this handsome man standing right here? Minister Gu, observing from the side, thought, ultimately, it's this little girl who's bearing the brunt of everything. The seemingly capable Prince Jing'an, why does he always lose his touch at crucial moments? If it weren't for her stepping up to sweet talk and gather information, will we really be waiting for this aloof prince to go digging for news? Meanwhile, Xiao Qiqi, dazzled by the vast array of rouges and powders, felt like she had entered paradise. These scents are so lovely, absolutely divine. Listening to her honeyed words, Hua Xiangrong encouraged her to ask for anything she liked. If you can't find a fragrance you're looking for here, you probably won't find it anywhere else. But even after examining the entire shop, Xiao Qiqi still hadn't found what she was looking for. Sister, do you have a treasured fragrance? Perhaps you could let me have a look? Hua Xiangrong seemed to recall something at these words that I do have a special fragrance, but its scent is quite subtle. This young master might need to come closer to appreciate it. Xiao Qiqi, unaccustomed to such a situation, blushed slightly. Can I really get that close to you, sister? But as she spoke, Hua Xiangrong leaned in, don't speak. Just smell. Unable to refuse such a kind offer, Xiao Qiqi inhaled gently. You know what? This is the scent I've been looking for. Unfortunately, This seemingly intimate moment was witnessed by Imo Hanqing. Even though we're both women, why do I feel like this girl is two-timing me? Hearing the prince's sudden outburst, Xiao Qiqi retorted seriously, "You're reading too much into it." Hua Xiangrong, who had already seen through everything, felt a mischievous impulse. "Why is Prince Jingyan so upset? Are you worried I'll corrupt your little guard? Or are you afraid someone will steal your beloved protector's heart?" The decisive Prince Jingyan was actually being played by the very person he had trained, Xiao Qiqi. And the one teaching her these tricks was none other than the alluring Hua Xiangrong. Facing the charming beauty, Imo Hanqing wanted nothing more than to tear her face off. "If you dare teach my innocent young guard any more improper behavior, I might just break my vow of never hitting a woman," he threatened openly. Prince Jingyan has quite the temper. I simply let this young master get a closer whiff of the fragrance. How did that warrant such a violent reaction? If it weren't for this little guard calling me sister, I would have truly misunderstood. Turning to Xiao Qiqi, she said, "Your master is so fierce to you. Why not just join me? We can run the powder shop together. I'll even double whatever Prince Jingyan pays you." The prospect of earning big money tempted Xiao Qiqi. "But I owe the prince 500 taels of silver. I've already sold myself to pay off the debt." Hua Xiangrong, realizing she had been played, felt a pang of sympathy for this naive youngster. "A mere 500 taels? If you trust me, sister, I'll show you a way to make that money." In the blink of an eye, Xiao Qiqi, a quick study, grasped the essence of the con. She pulled out the fragrance, showing off her newfound knowledge that "I've discovered its secret. I wonder if the prince, eager to solve his case, truly desires it." Watching the girl learn her tricks from Hua Xiangrong so quickly, Imo Hanqing wanted to smack her and give her a harsh lesson about the wickedness of the world. So, "How much do you want? If you dare ask for an exorbitant price, I won't give you a single coin." Xiao Qiqi, her intentions exposed, simply replied, "How about we call it even for the 500 taels I owe you?" Imo Hanqing was taken aback. "This girl is bold. I'll only give you 20 taels, and that's final." Xiao Qiqi pressed further. "Why are you haggling so differently from Sister Hua? You're lowering the price so drastically. How am I supposed to negotiate?" "Fine, 10 taels then. If you try any more tricks, I'll resort to force." "All right, 10 taels it is." Facing the shrewd and intimidating Prince Jingyan, Xiao Qiqi didn't even dare to haggle further. Upon hearing the secret, Minister Gu flushed crimson. Why would a simple fragrance be connected to a place like a brothel? Prince Jingyan, taking Xiao Qiqi along for a night visit to a brothel, unexpectedly encountered the girl's innocent stumble into a romantic entanglement. Learning that the mysterious fragrance originated from Zue Xianlu, Imo Hanqing turned to Minister Gu. "What are your thoughts on this, Minister?" Xiao Qiqi, who heard the brothel referred to as Zue Xianlu, looked puzzled. "Didn't they already tell you?" Sister Hua said it was a brothel. "Why can't you remember, Your Highness?" This sudden, innocent remark flustered Minister Gu, who tried to appear calm. Old Chun heard nothing, following Prince Jingyan's instructions to remain silent and still. Unexpectedly, Xiao Qiqi never imagined she would be so blatantly ignored by two grown men. "Are you even listening to me?" He really wanted to go to the brothel with her. Imo Hanqing looked at the annoying little girl who insisted on sticking to him. Perhaps he had spoiled her too much. So much so that it had led to this bitter consequence of a nighttime brothel visit. Xiao Qiqi, having arrived at the night market as planned, wondered what the prince's next move would be. But she never expected the street vendors at night to be so enthusiastic. Imo Hanqing, now regretting his decision, shouldn't have brought the clueless girl to Zue Xianlu to investigate. Just as he was about to tell her it wasn't too late to turn back, he realized Xiao Qiqi had already become the target of the courtesan's flirtatious advances. "Young master," she said, using a phrase she'd learned from somewhere, her face full of haughty pride. "It's better to die under the peony flower than to live without love." Damn it, he didn't know what that mincing flower mistress had taught the girl. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Qiqi was forced into night clothes and warned that being conspicuous wouldn't do. They had to scale the wall. If it weren't for the girl's greed and fascination with pretty things, he wouldn't be so distracted from the investigation before even reaching the brothel. Determined to turn Zue Xianlu upside down, Xiao Qiqi had just lifted the first roof tile when she saw an indescribable scene. A bearded man was insisting on kissing the beauty in his arms, his words full of suggestive and provocative innuendo. just as Xiao Qiqi was about to speak. Mo Hanqing snapped, "No talking. Are they husband and wife?" she whispered. "No. If they're not husband and wife, how can they kiss so casually?" Because he paid. Mo Hanqing, his cheeks flushed, thought, why does this girl ask about everything? Doesn't she know some things are better left unsaid? But Xiao Qiqi looked bewildered. That man is so old. Doesn't he have a wife? Why does he have to spend money on these ladies? Because the wildflowers are more fragrant than the ones at home. Don't you even understand such a simple principle? Hearing the prince's impatient explanation, Xiao Qiqi suddenly realized something. So, after I become a courtesan, can I be like them? No. And Mo Hanqing didn't know how to explain to the girl that he was different from those men. I just don't. I don't want to be looked at by those vulgar men the way they look at them. Xiao Qiqi suffered again at the hands of Jinya Wang simply because she said, lust is the root of all evil. It's a bit stingy not to be interested in women. This instantly enraged Mo Hanqing, who had just a moment ago been feeling unusually proud of his restraint. He had thought his apparent purity would win the girl's heart, but all he got was, "Your Highness is so stingy. You must be unwilling to spend money on the ladies in the brothel." Seeing the girl's naivete, Mo Hanqing, though fuming inside, could only swallow his anger. Just as they lifted the next tile, the clueless Xiao Qiqi started muttering again. Why can one old man have four ladies kissing him at the same time? And he keeps calling the prettiest one a tempting little vixen. Mo Hanqing glared at the girl. Are you ever going to stop? I brought you here to investigate, not to tour the brothel. But Xiao Qiqi seemed agitated. I want to go down there and beat that old man up. How can he ignore the lady's pleas and keep bullying her? Before she could move, Mo Hanqing grabbed her by the collar. Calm down. That's called flirting. It's consensual. The next room they peeked into was even more outrageous. This time, a woman was forcing an old man to drink. But that wine looks delicious. Why else would the old man be so happy and drink every drop? Mo Hanqing regretted bringing the girl along. He hadn't found any clues about the incense, but she had learned a great deal about the sordid affairs between men and women. Following behind him, Xiao Qiqi wondered why Prince Jing'an wasn't continuing the investigation. There's still so many rooms we haven't checked, she said. We haven't looked in all the ladies' rooms yet. Walking into a secluded alley, Mo Hanqing remained silent. He was afraid that if he spoke to her, he wouldn't be able to resist docking her pay. Suddenly, a carriage passed by. Through the thin veil, the person inside seemed unconscious. Based on his years of experience, Mo Hanqing suspected something was amiss. Xiao Qiqi also noticed. That person looks like a lady with disheveled hair, she said. Her clothes are torn, and there's a strange smell. Agreeing, they decided to follow the carriage. But after it stopped and they got a closer look, the woman, weak and barely conscious, looked more like a beggar. At first glance, there seemed to be nothing unusual about her. Unexpectedly, the sneaky Xiao Qiqi had her eyes on the fine wine on the table. Before Mo Hanqing could investigate, she had already drunk herself to the floor. Xiao Qiqi, drunk and disorderly, rolled over, pinning Jing'an Wang beneath her. His heart raced. Meanwhile, Minister Gu, undercover in the brothel on official business, felt like his old bones were about to fall apart under the weight of the courtesans plying him with drinks. He was just about to take advantage of the chaos and leave when a sight inside a carriage, too shocking to behold, instantly sobered him up. He saw the ever-composed Mo Hanqing, whose personal guard, taking advantage of his inattention, had also succumbed to the drink. This left him with no choice but to ride back in the prince's carriage. Minister Gu, who nearly stumbled and made a fool of himself, immediately understood the situation. Well, this old man has also had his share of strong liquor. Rather than crowding together, I might as well walk back to sober up. In that case, this prince will gladly accept your offer. Watching the rapidly departing carriage, Minister Gu felt like a spectator at a lively show, excitedly exclaiming, as expected of the aloof prince, his actions are always so thrilling. But the next scene left Mo Hanqing restless. Xiao Qiqi, fueled by alcohol, was clearly losing her composure. She observed, this young master is so handsome. If my heart wasn't already taken, I would probably be head over heels for him. Mo Hanqing, consumed by jealousy, couldn't believe his ears. He demanded, who is in your heart? Could they possibly be more outstanding than me? The most handsome man in Mo. Flustered, Xiao Qiqi couldn't recall the person's face, only that their features bore a strange resemblance to the man before her. Mo Hanqing, his heart pounding, was fully aware of the impropriety of the situation, yet he found himself too flustered to push away the girl as she leaned in close. Sensing his compliance, Xiao Qiqi grew bolder, even mimicking the scene she had witnessed at the brothel. A stunned Mo Hanqing could only react as she pushed him down. When he heard her say, "Little girl, give me a smile," he wanted to throttle her. "You learn nothing good? You shameless girl, get off me this instant," he roared. Xiao Qing, sensing hostility, assumed her master was being bullied. She sprang to his defense, poised to strike with venom. Mo Hanqing, repeatedly startled by the snake, gave up resisting. "If it weren't for your service in protecting this foolish girl, I would skin you alive and make soup out of you." Just then, the dazed Xiao Qiqi, mistaking him for someone else, called out, "Sister." Her trembling fear was strikingly similar to the unforgettable Mo Gongzi in his memories. Mo Hanqing was struck by a sudden realization. The person Xiao Qiqi constantly mentioned was him all along. Before he could say anything, Xiao Qiqi kissed him senseless. He wondered how she could still be so flirtatious even when drunk. Then, overcome with sadness, Xiao Qiqi's mood shifted. One moment she was kissing him sweetly, the next she was in tears. She reproached, "Mo Gongzi, why haven't you visited me on the mountain all these years? Why have you disappeared without a trace? And why did you take my lifelock pendant? I'm so angry." Mo Hanqing, overwhelmed with emotion, felt a pang of heartache like never before. He raised a trembling hand to wipe away her tears, his heart heavy with unspoken sorrows. The next morning, Xiao Qiqi, suffering from blackout, was terrified to face the prince at breakfast, remaining silent despite his proximity. Minister Gu, however, was bright and early, eager to feign ignorance while getting the inside scoop on how Jing and Wang's romantic night had unfolded. Xiao Qiqi stood outside the door, worried. She vaguely remembered sneaking a drink and causing a scene, but couldn't recall the details. The thought of losing her wages filled her with dread. Minister Gu, growing impatient waiting for the gossip, was more agitated than the drunk herself. He muttered, "What is that guard up to?" Xiao Qiqi, caught off guard, jumped in fright, already apprehensive. The sight of Minister Gu's fake smile sent her into a rage. Unbeknownst to her, the drunken confessions she had whispered to Mo Hanqing had kept him awake all night. He glared at the seemingly carefree Xiao Qiqi, who had clearly slept soundly. Sensing the tense atmosphere, Xiao Qiqi quickly backed down. Minister Gu, disappointed by the lack of drama, still attempted to make excuses for her. But Mo Hanqing, his face dark, realized Xiao Qiqi had completely forgotten the events of the previous night. Annoyed, Mo Hanqing turned and directed his ire at Minister Gu, who appeared quite at ease, unaware of such a shocking answer. "Have you found any clues?" Minister Gu, caught in the crossfire of his own gossiping, broke out in a cold sweat. He had been so engrossed in the drama that he'd completely forgotten the volatile and unpredictable nature of the cold Prince Jing'an. Seizing the opportunity, Xiao Qiqi quickly tried to appease him. "It's all my fault for being reckless last night. I almost ruined your important investigation, but I know my mistakes, and I'm quick to correct them." How can a dignified Prince Jing'an not even have a servant to attend to him for something as important as breakfast? Feeling a slight thawing in Mo Hanqing's demeanor, he suddenly realized his tone had been a bit harsh. But unable to lose face, he stubbornly turned his head away in silent acknowledgement. At least the brat has some conscience. Meanwhile, Minister Gu, left standing awkwardly in the ensuing silence, could only offer a strained explanation. "This old man is incompetent. Even selling my charms yielded no clues. But thanks to your highness sending someone with information overnight, I had the opportunity to secretly monitor the half-dead suspicious woman." Xiao Qiqi, who was serving Mo Hanqing a chicken leg, suddenly spoke up. "That woman's identity might just be a simple beggar. Please, Minister Gu, you must trust my judgment." Growing more animated as she spoke, she even started gesturing with the chicken leg in her hand. Something's fishy. If she wasn't using a beggar's identity to stir up trouble, why would a search through all the household registers in the capital turn up nothing? This greatly distressed Mo Hanqing, who had finally managed to get his hands on a chicken leg. "I order you. You can talk, but don't gesture with my chicken leg. As for your suspicion, it's not entirely unreasonable. A group of unregistered individuals, even if they died, no one anyone would care. Rather than waiting for clues to surface on their own, we can investigate the homeless beggars outside the city as a key point of suspicion in this case. Xiao Qiqi, disguised as a man, made her first foray into the palace and inadvertently stumbled into a den of wolves, becoming the target of many a scrutinizing gaze. Seeing Mo Hanqing's slightly arrogant expression, she realized he even brought his inseparable tag-along to greet the emperor. But Xiao Qiqi didn't understand these matters of love between men and women. She simply thought that not having to investigate meant getting paid for doing nothing. Seeing Prince Jinin's old servant being particularly courteous, she figured the emperor must have missed his resourceful uncle after not seeing him for so many days. Mo Hanqing knew he couldn't neglect proper etiquette, but he was used to the unconstrained brat. To avoid trouble, he decided to wait patiently outside, listening to Prince Jing'an giving instructions, even for something as trivial as where to go to the restroom. Xiao Qiqi thought he was being incredibly fussy. Could I possibly get lost in the palace after living for so long? Her grumbling reached Mo Hanqing's ears, and he thought, the brat dares to disobey me now. So he turned and warned her, if you continue to act so recklessly and cause trouble, your pay will be docked. Xiao Qiqi felt wronged and sulked, sticking her tongue out and blaming Prince Jing'an for being so harsh. However, the old servant beside her retorted, you've misjudged His Highness. In all the time he's been in the palace, this is the first time I've seen him so concerned about a guard. Xiao Qiqi looked up, pondering the servant's pointed words. Although she didn't understand the specific meaning, she knew Prince Jing'an was good to her. Meanwhile, the emperor, seated on his throne, was restless, worried about the floods in Mo that had been exacerbated by the recent diplomatic estrangement. He wondered if the officials who had come to discuss national policy today had a foolproof plan to deal with the large influx of refugees into the capital. The crown prince, eager to impress, was the first to speak, launching into a lengthy and elaborate proposal. However, while speaking, he'd intended to observe Prince Jing'an's reaction, but was instead rendered speechless by the latter's baffling behavior. Mo Hanqing, prioritizing national affairs, was only distracted because the pastries on the table were too delicious. He thought the brat waiting outside would surely enjoy them too. Before he could even mention it, Xiao Qiqi was already beaming, thinking that being Prince Jing'an's guard wasn't so bad after all. The food in the palace was far superior to anything found in the streets outside. After the discussion, Mo Hanqing couldn't believe that the brat, who came from a respectable family, could be so bold as to fall asleep in the palace. Xiao Qiqi, competitive and eager to spar, was met with unexpected joy when Mo Hanqing, who usually worried about her the most, agreed. It turned out the brat who had fallen asleep had mistaken the palace for her own backyard. The crown prince, with dark circles under his eyes, immediately found fault, criticizing her lack of decorum, especially for accepting the specially prepared pastries from Prince Jing'an. Has uncle become so idle that he has nothing better to do than spoil a servant? Mo Hanqing, too lazy to argue, wanted to quickly excuse himself from the emperor to avoid further conflict. Unexpectedly, the crown prince not only refused to let it go, but also publicly spoke ill of Mo Hanqing. Father, look at what he's saying. He's a dignified imperial uncle, yet he keeps a frail and incompetent little guard by his side. Isn't this clearly inviting outsiders to gossip and disgrace you? Unavoidably, Xiao Qiqi unknowingly found herself deep in the lion's den. From this perspective, happily enjoying pastries today had become her fault. The emperor, worried about her safety, finally spoke slowly. Looking at this frail physique, it's indeed difficult for them to shoulder important responsibilities. You should just dismiss them when you return. Don't keep adding unnecessary trouble for yourself. Xiao Qiqi was furious. She wanted to roll up her sleeves and give a muscle warning, but the emperor criticized her for not understanding palace etiquette. They certainly can't stay by your side and be entrusted with important tasks. Mo Hanqing, defeated, perhaps seeing the little girl's indignation, subconsciously tried to excuse himself despite the risk of defying the emperor. My guard is actually very capable. He spoke unintentionally, but the crown prince laughed maliciously. Since your guard is so skilled, they should be brought out to spar, instead of you constantly shielding them. You've committed the crime of deceiving the emperor. Mo Hanqing was very annoyed. May I ask your highness, what constitutes deceiving the emperor? If you have doubts, you can have someone test them and you'll know. The emperor was amused by the two impetuous officials that it was just a casual remark. Since you're eager to compete, then bring them out to spar. The elite soldiers of the Gongsun Guard are all top-notch heroes. Although the emperor, with his noble status, shouldn't have agreed to this. He wanted to see what kind of tricks a small guard protected by Prince Jing'an could pull off. Xiao Qiqi realized that Prince Jing'an was intentionally supporting her. She couldn't help but tug on his sleeve and say, "I will definitely give it my all. You could just relax and watch." The infatuated Xiao Qiqi wanted to read their fortunes. But Prince Jing'an said, "What kind of behavior is this pulling and tugging?" Soon, the scene of the martial arts competition was grand. Xiao Qiqi, eager to fight, got her wish. Unexpectedly, the elite guards, exchanging glances, didn't dare to step forward, afraid of breaking. Prince Jing'an's precious little guard, the leader, knowing he'd been given a difficult task by the emperor, thought it best to protect himself. "Your Majesty, would you allow us to remove our armor?" The emperor, finding the spectacle entertaining, agreed. Since the imperial uncle wants a one-on-one fight, then they should have a good fight. The prince, smiling silently, was actually delighted. Just by their underestimation, he could crush the imperial uncle's face. However, the emperor, still enjoying himself, added suspense. He said with a grin, "No matter which capable soldier wins, I will reward them handsomely." Helpless, the leader, obeying the decree, was speechless. Of all the people to fight, they had to fight Prince Jing'an's delicate little treasure. So he signaled with his eyes that they should only touch lightly and yield when necessary. Otherwise, their future days in the army would be difficult. The elite guards, understanding, decided to follow the unspoken command. Before Xiao Qiqi could show her true strength, one of the elite guards dramatically cried out and fell to the ground, claiming a broken leg. A bewildered Xiao Qiqi then kicked another guard, who, with even more exaggerated acting, timed his fall perfectly. The emperor, still not understanding, found the spectacle rather unfinished, as expected of a guard personally chosen by the imperial uncle. Their fighting style is truly different. And Mohan Xing, seeing through the act but saying nothing, took out a handkerchief to wipe the sweat from the little girl's brow, and then asked the emperor for a reward. Unbeknownst to him, this seemingly insignificant gesture planted a seed in the heart of the infatuated Xiao Qiqi. She didn't know why, but Prince Jing'an, usually so strict and always finding fault, suddenly made her heart race uncontrollably. And the emperor unexpectedly said that the little guard had worked hard and deserved a reward, and then offered to arrange a marriage for the imperial uncle. As soon as he finished speaking, Mohan Xing, horrified, grabbed the little girl and ran. But Xiao Qiqi didn't understand why Prince Jing'an would rather defy the emperor than submit to her. And Mohan Xing blushed slightly. Does this little girl really not understand anything? I've risked defying the emperor for you. Xiao Qiqi, intrigued, said, "Grandpa taught me how to tell fortunes by holding hands when I was young. It's always accurate. Why don't you give me your hand and let me try? Maybe I can predict many wives for you. Maybe even a house full of grandchildren." But Mohan Xing, blushing, didn't accept the offer. His heart was already filled with this little girl. He didn't want to marry any other woman in this lifetime.